know, guys? Hey, it is. Oh, and my microphone is way over here, so I can't do that. I can't do this and sound good. I got to come over here. So, hell, let's go to camera number 2. Crash and burn, babies. Crash and burn. Good morning, guys. Hey, it's Bob, K6UDA, back from the primordial ooze that was moving. And I'm very, very glad to be here in Idaho. The place is almost perfect, other than the 300-mile-an-hour winds I'm experiencing right now. I'm gonna put the cheaters on here so I can take a look at some of. Oh my lord, the music wasn't going. Did you guys not get the music? Man, I have to. Kelly, one of my local buddies here, K7SU, is in the house. Welcome, Kelly. I think this might be your first live stream with me. So, how you doing? Let's see the No Code Tech at Andy Crowley. How you doing, my brother? Andy is in the house. And let's see who else. Alex Alonso is in the house. Steve, KO4AFL, in the house again. My brother Adam, or my brother Dennis, 86DM, and Herb, KM6JBI. How you guys doing? Marty, wow. Everybody's from the old neighborhood. How you guys doing? Wow, unbelievable. Very, very cool. Let's see. What does it say? I got 59 people in the house right now. Like I said, and I want to come back here to camera number 1. We'll come over to camera number 1. Can you guys still hear me? Let me know in the comments. Did my voice just completely go away? Or can you hear me if I'm looking at the camera here? Let's see. So anyway, today is kind of a shakedown cruise here in Studio A. All the new stuff in here, but I have microphones in odd places. Things don't exactly work the way they used to. Camera number 1 is way over on this side here. If I switch over to camera number 2, camera number 1 is over here. The microphone is way over here. So if I'm looking at if I'm looking over here at camera 1, you guys don't hear me as well here on camera 2, which is a crappy little camera. Yeah, I know it's a little too quiet, but how about now? Better volume now. Let's see. Oh, Kent Holford is in the house, the god of D-Star. So today, like I was saying, let me go back over to the screen. We've got Wires X YouTubers is up there. I'm gonna have a special guest here in a few minutes. James Hannibal from Quirky QRP is going to be joining me. We're going to be talking about this cool little thing here. I'll sit here by the microphone. Camera number 2, better volume, yes. Well, let me explain the whole volume thing, guys. All the volume comes out of this microphone number 1. The cameras have no hang on. There you go. Back to camera 2. The cameras themselves have no microphones attached to them. The microphone is attached to the computer. So when I'm facing camera number 2 here, right above the screen, the microphone is right in front of my face. Sounds much better. Let's see. Kent is in the house. I saw that. Chris, all the way over in the UK, the digital analog ham is in the house. Marty is in the house from Rockland. Daniel L has one of the zip Tennas. Very, very cool. And let's see who else. Chris Townsend, K6UDA from Boise, all the way in the Treasure Valley. Very, very cool. Well, I know there's at least 2 of us here in the Magic Valley today. A couple of things as we get started here. I'm going to move over to camera number 3 here, and not 1, not 2, but 3 things in the mailbag. We'll start out with this one here. I'll bring it over here. This one, these are pretty much, they're all patches. This one comes from Bob Gilbert, and Bob, you didn't put your call on here, but he sent me an email, really, really cool email. I don't have it up, from Richfield PD here. He runs the mate team, or the major accident team there in Richfield, Ohio. So anyway, thank you for the patch. That goes up. But he's also sent me a challenge coin, because I do have a challenge coin collection over here behind me. And I guess if I go to camera 1, all the way up here is challenge coins. But anyway, this was for his son, who is silent now, but he was a badass Marine, gave his life in defense of this country. So thank you, Bob Gilbert. And I wish I had your call right here. But anyway, going up on the wall of heroes behind me here, very, very cool. Let's see the next one here. And I got to play with this whole, the whole microphone thing, because I don't have a microphone over there. So if I move over there to work, it ain't going to work as well. Anyway, we'll come over here. Let's see. We got Ralph, first QTH. My QTH is in Hanover. Okay. And then VE6, HDH. When looking at camera 1, you need to talk out of the left side of your mouth. Thanks, man. I'll try to remember that. Look at this from, it's a LA County Sheriff. One of my neighbors here, or actually 2 of my neighbors down the street, LA County SO, they just retired. They just retired about 3 weeks ago. They've been living here for a year. But anyway, this one comes from Tony, KK7O, and he is, I think he's now in Mesa, Arizona. Tony Sotos, KK7O in Mesa, Arizona. Tony, thank you. that'll go up. And remember, guys, all your call signs go on the back of these. So when I look at them, if we want to pull them down or anything, any other time, they go back up. We know who you are every time I pull one down. Back over to camera number 3 from Jason AC9YO in and that crash and burn, babies, crash and burn. Okay, hang on, let's see if it'll focus. Focus. Let me kill this. Nope. Of course not gonna focus on me. We'll do that. Nope. Let me go manual focus here. And good enough. Kind of back in focus. All right. Let's see. AC9YO is a copper here. The Seymour Police Department in Indiana. Seymour, Indiana. And kind of a cool little letter here from Jason. His department's patch included with the letter. He's made it 22 years so far in the patrol division. Looking forward to retirement if he ever makes it. And you know what? These days, I could totally understand that. Let's see. And it says, got a cool little note here. It says, sir, thank you for producing your informative content. Despite recently upgrading to extra, I know nothing, but your videos are helping me learn. That's freaking cool, dude. Thank you. Thanks for the patch, and thank you for the very cool note. Let's see, what else do we have here? Go take a look. That's ATV over internet. Very nice. Okay, I'm looking through some of the comments here, and let me go back through some of the comments. I can hear you, but okay, no, that was earlier. I guess, when I'm here on camera number 2, the volume sounds a little low, or sounds good. Let's see. No, okay. Nothing major. So one of the things I want to do, guys, is questions. Any new hams out there? I don't care if you're a tech, general, extra, advanced, whatever. I don't know, foundation over in the UK. Shoot me the questions, and we'll try to work through some of these questions that are burning through your guys' minds right here live. And we got all these hams, and I know some of these guys are really freaking smart. What else do I want to talk about here? I'm gonna move over. Okay. Some of the things that I get to talk about today, and one of them is this cool little knife out the front. It's called an OTF, out the front knife. You people in California refer to these as stilettos. These are very evil in California. Not allowed. But you know what? I get to come here. I moved here. And all of a sudden, that's just a pocket knife. How cool is that? Let's see. Another cool little thing here that I just picked up is this Blackbeard fire starter. Now, you guys know I like to be prepared. Like to be able to start fire whenever I want. And I would demo this, but I'm not allowed to start a fire in Studio A, number one. And I would demo it outside. But like I said, and you might even be able to hear the wind howling outside. I mean, it is probably sustained 25 miles an hour and gusting up to 300 today. My antenna is probably about done. Let's see. Get some lights on those things there, and we'll come back over to camera number 2. Oh, look at that. Let's see. Like I said, I wanted to talk about the zip Tenna here. The zip Tenna. I have to remember that everything isn't within quick reach like it was in the old studio. That's the only bad thing about this studio is I've got to start working these things out. Anyway, James Hannibal, if you're in the house, go ahead and give me a Skype call there, and we'll get started. We'll talk about the zip Tenna. And again, I want to thank you guys, man, 77 of you guys here with me for the, I guess, lunch hour. If you're in Texas, out here it's still 11:30. In California, it is really, really early. And here we go. I'm going to put you up here on the split screen. James, can you hear me?
I hear you.
All right, real good, real good. Thanks for joining me on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Very, very cool. So today, James had sent me a couple of these zip Tennas, and they are very, very cool. Kind of a dual purpose thing as far as I'm concerned. The first thing is, you pull this thing out at certain lengths, is it? And and it becomes a counterpoise. How do I do this? Becomes a counterpoise for your HT. So I don't know if it helps with reception, but it's supposed to help with transmission. Get you out a little further. It does help
with reception. Yeah. It'll help with reception. And I have a video that demonstrates that on the weather band because it's multi-banded. So there's, for 70 centimeters, but that marking also works for GMRS and FRS. And then there's a 1.25 meter ham band marking. And there's also a maritime and MERS marking, which also is the weather band marking. And yeah, so I've got a video that demonstrates that when you deploy it, the reception will improve, and that'll work across all of the band markings for different bands. And then of course there's the 2 meter band, and there's also full extension is the aviation band. My dad's a pilot, so I wanted to kind of make this work for him, and when he's flying around and meeting up with his buddies at airstrips. Nice.
You know what? It seems very, very sturdy. You've got you've got a nice strong nylon tie that's on the radio itself, and then this is like a metal cord. Yes. You know what? If I can go to camera 3, and I can't go to camera 3. I can now. Okay. So yeah, nice little metal cable on here. And let me throw that down so the guys at home could see this thing. So on the back also, and I don't know if you could see what I'm seeing there. James, you're not.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm watching.
Go ahead and explain what the back. I guess it's just a legend.
Yeah, it's just a guide telling you, and I'll hold it up here as well. Basically, what I just described, the different band markings for each thing along the wire, for each marking along the wire. So the first mark, as you extend it, the first mark is for the 70 centimeter band, and then the second mark is for the 1.25 meter ham band. Fourth mark is, the third mark is the MERS Maritime and Weather band. Fourth mark is the 2 meter band, and then full extension is the aviation band. And they're just guidelines, so dial it in, use it how you want to use it, and see what works best for you. But those are the guidelines that I found. Those are the markings that I found to be the best performance on average.
Okay. Very, very cool.
And the carabiner clips to your belt.
Mm-hmm.
So your radio is sitting on your belt as you walk around, and then when you want to use it, you just unclip your radio, and as you pull your radio up to your mouth to talk, you are deploying the zip Tenna.
I love that.
And then you choose the band length. Now, I've had a lot of questions about this because obviously, like the 70 centimeter marking is relatively short, and it's hard to have that on your belt and do 70 centimeters. I've found. So people tinker with adding, maybe a length of paracord. If you're a heavy 70 centimeter user, then you could add like a short length of paracord to the carabiner and extend it that way. On various vests and whatnot, I've clipped it at other higher points. If I'm using the 70 centimeter in certain areas where those are the only repeaters. But the way I like to operate, and what I've found to be the most effective, is I just use the radio. I don't worry about the band marking, and I just use the radio, and it's basically acting as a safety lanyard. And then if someone tells me, hey, your signal's coming in weak, or if I'm not able to key the repeater, then I start focusing on getting the band marking to the right length. And I use it when it's needed. You don't, if you're close to the repeater or close to the guy you're talking to, it's not really critical to have the counterpoise deployed necessarily. Now, it's going to be deployed anyways if you're just pulling it up to your mouth and talking. But I like to just use the radio. And until someone complains about my signal strength, or I'm having trouble hitting a repeater, or maybe my APRS isn't getting out, then I'll deliberately get it to the right length for the band I'm using to improve the signal. Okay. So that's the way I recommend people operate, is just use your radio like you normally would, and then get specific with the length for your band if you're having trouble getting out. Okay.
One question: if you've got the wrong length pulled out, it doesn't degrade your signal now, does it?
No, you shouldn't. It shouldn't degrade your signal. And the reason that, your arm, maybe most people don't realize this, but your arm is actually acting as a poor man's counterpoise. Okay, so every time you hold your radio, you're capacitively coupling your body to your radio and to your antenna. And, we weren't designed to be a 2 meter or 70 centimeter counterpoise. We're just a sack of meat that's mostly water, and we don't make very good counterpoises. And yet the radio still works fine. Mm-hmm. So in my experience, I don't see any degradation of signal output or reception.
Okay.
So that shouldn't be a problem.
Good. Getting a lot of questions here on how much this thing costs.
$20.
So it ain't gonna break the bank, is it?
And then a little shipping.
Yeah.
Shipping.
So 20 plus.
Yeah, it's not
shipping.
Gonna break the bank. And like I've got here the D72. I haven't got the 74 yet. But these class of radios are expensive.
Yep.
And I've put a few dings and even taken some chunks of plastic off of some of these radios by dropping them. Mm-hmm. And I really don't like that. So I like using the lanyard. And I'll just use those, like those cheap lanyards you can get with the plastic quick release. But I also like to use a counterpoise. And man, is it a mess to have a 19-inch counterpoise hanging off my radio, plus roughly the same length not counterpoise, but lanyard at the same time hanging off my radio. That gets tangled up. I look like an idiot walking around with all this rope and wire hanging off my radio and out from under my shirt. So this product was really, I built it for myself. I designed it to solve a problem I was having.
Okay.
And thought, hey, maybe some other people are having this problem.
I'll tell you what, man, just for the lanyard effect alone, I am a fan, because the thing is so well built and still very lightweight. And I'll tell you, I do some hiking. I do some, some Moda.
Yeah.
I haven't done Moda for a while, but I'm looking forward to getting back into that. Just having this thing attached to me where it's not going to fall off if I'm on the motorcycle, if I'm hiking or whatever, that is huge. And for a lot of the new guys out there, the whole thing of soda and POTA is, getting out there in the elements and operating. And honestly, I would say most of the soda activations that I hear are on UHF and VHF. They're not HF. You don't have to be the guy that goes up the side of a mountain and operates CW. You can go up the side of a hill and do it on your handheld. And I think that's number one, going to protect you, and number two, is going to maybe give you that little bit of an edge. And I haven't really tested it. I have some distant repeaters here, and when I can't hit them, I can't hit them. So
yeah, I've got some example videos that I've thrown up on YouTube on my very meager little YouTube channel. It's really just videos demonstrating my products. So there's about 4 or 5, I think, demonstration videos I've put up for Zip Tenna. One of them is keying up a repeater and not being able to even key the repeater without the Zip Tenna. For anyone who wants to test that, to actually see a difference, I mean, have a QSO with someone, let them give you a signal report. That's one way to do it. But also, if you have a repeater that you're on the fringe of hitting and sometimes you're not able to hit it, then that's a good example repeater to use to see the difference between not having the Zip Tenna versus having it. And another way you can do that to kind of attenuate yourself is to drop your power output down. Drop your power output down to like 3 watts, 1 watt, whatever, and try keying the repeater without the Zip Tenna, then deploy it and try keying the repeater. And in many cases, if it's a repeater that's on the fringe, you're going to see the improvement.
Very, very cool. Very cool. So what other little cool things is Quirky QRP working on right now? Can you give me the inside scoop?
I have some antenna products or at least one that I've been working on for actually longer than all of my other products that I've been working with. I have some ideas for some portable antenna stuff that I'm working on, and it's HF related. So that's something it's still under wraps, but yeah, I do have other things in the works.
Nice.
Possibly some more Morse code related products. We'll
okay.
See.
Okay. Yeah. The finger key that you sent me, that thing is awesome. I use that with my 705. I didn't have to readjust anything or do anything. It just works. And being a straight key, very, very simple to use. It's just my uncoordinated freaking hands that are my limiting factor.
Yeah, and it's not meant for long operating periods. It's the finger Morse CW key is designed for the people you mentioned earlier briefly, the CW operators who do SOTA, or even just people who like to do pedestrian portable. You throw your mountain topper in your backpack with a $20 telescopic whip from MFJ, single band whip, and have some headphones coming out of the backpack, have the finger Morse coming out of the backpack, and now you can operate while walking and make QSOs while walking around without, and then still have your hands free, right? Because it mounts to your finger, so literally both hands are still free to do things while you're operating while walking.
Yeah. And that's very cool. I've never really operated pedestrian mobile like that, where I've got the radio stuffed in my backpack. I take it out of the backpack, set it on a rock or set it on the ground, and work that way. So something new, something idea, I might try someday.
That product and also the Zip Tenna were both kind of designed around the fact that I don't have a lot of time to operate. So I like to operate pedestrian portable for single sideband. I've got an old UKITS handheld HF rig. It looks like a CB radio from like the 50s or 60s. They don't make them anymore, unfortunately. But I put a single band telescopic whip on top of that, and I like to walk around and operate, and then my family's not waiting for me, and I can operate while we're going from A to B, maybe on a hike.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, hey, what about CW operators? Why couldn't something exist for them to do the same thing that I'm doing here with voice? And that's where that product idea came from. Now, I've also had people come back to me, and they're using it for just as a simple PTT switch for voice, like mobile, or even as on a base station setup, to have a little PTT switch for voice comm. And I never even imagined people would use it for that, but apparently people like it for that as well.
Very cool. So a couple of quick comments here from everybody that's in the group. A Nano VNA, this is from Richard Palmer. Nano VNA verifies the HT counterpoise is worthwhile.
Hey, cool.
So there's scientific proof, not based on my my voodoo witch doctor. I just believe it.
Right. Yeah. And it's good. I love getting feedback from customers, and whoever that is, if they could, it would be really cool if they could throw some photos or maybe a video up on YouTube or Twitter or something. I'd love to see that. That sounds really cool.
Very cool. And David Hasslinger asks, where can he get a Slink Tenna? He's wanted one for a while, but he can't find one for sale.
Yeah, they're out of stock right now. I'm actually right over here off camera. I'm building them as we speak. They sell like hotcakes. I can't build them fast enough. So I'm hoping very soon, hopefully within a week or so, I'll have a little batch done, and I'll post on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, so I'll simultaneously post on all three of those whenever Slink Tennas or any of my products that are out of stock come back into stock.
Cool. Very, very cool. James, how does everybody get a hold of you?
Same methods. All those social media outlets, I'm on there. Most of them have direct message capabilities, so you can ask me any questions you want on social media. Also, you can contact me through Etsy is another way. And then, of course, my email address is on QRZ.
Very cool. And your YouTube channel, what's the name of that?
It's Quirky QRP.
There you go, guys. Quirky QRP is coming up with all kinds of very, very cool, innovative stuff. That's what I love about some of the people in this hobby. Other than me, I'm not smart, so I can't come up with this stuff. But guys like James are the inventors. He's the new breed. And he sent me two of these, and I'm going to give one away today. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do it, but we'll do it towards the end of the show. One of the things that I want, let's see, we got 75 people on right now. I'd like to get 100 thumbs up before the end of the show. And then, I don't know, we'll play pick a number, or I will ask some stupid random trivia question that nobody will know that. And I'll give it away to somebody. Let's see. So let's see. Don H wants to slink Tenna. Dennis put up kind of the search for James Hannibal KH2SR on YouTube. That's a good way to find you.
Yep. Or search for any of the product names: Zip Tenna, Slink Tenna.
Yeah.
You'll find some videos on those things.
Nice. Got 45 thumbs up now. That's just a happening thing. Guys, it costs you nothing to give me a thumbs up. But
I'm going to do it right now. I'm giving you the thumbs up right now, Bob.
Hey, thanks. And let's see. Remember the tiger tail? This one is adjusted.
Yes. Tiger tails. I remember getting, or I don't know if I got one or if I made one back in the 90s. I remember they used to have an advertisement in, it was either QST or 73 magazine.
Mm-hmm.
There was an ad for tiger tails. And so I've been using counterpoises like the tiger tail since the early 90s.
Okay.
And they work. They totally work. The Zip Tenna is not magical. It's just a counterpoise. It just happens to be multi-banded because it's retractable, and it just happens to be capacitively coupled and passive to your antenna instead of having to actually make connection to the ground, which a lot of people don't realize. You don't need to have a direct metal-to-metal connection of a counterpoise to ground. Think about like your mag mount antenna on your car.
Mm-hmm.
That ground plane, the roof of your car, is not making metal-to-metal contact with the ground on that antenna. It is capacitively coupled, so it's not necessary, but it's doable as long as you do it right. And tiger tails are cool. There's even a guy that sells basically the original tiger tail on eBay. There's a guy that sells one called the rat tail out there, and yeah, and that one's actually also capacitively coupled to the radio.
Mm-hmm.
It costs more than mine, and it's only single band, and it dangles down 19 inches like any counterpoise. So, but that's an option out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I say for $20 though. I mean, this is such a winner. Very quickly, you and I talked before the show started, and about the way that it connects, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to get this thing on and off. How did that come about, and what's the thought behind it?
Yeah, so originally there was a plastic quick release thing there, and so instead of having to undo that little tiny, I know it's a pain in the butt, the little tiny key ring, it was a plastic quick release, which did expedite putting it on the radio. But it was a major weak link in the chain of the Zip Tenna because it was this little piece of plastic that was holding your $500 radio from hitting the ground, and I didn't like that. I want people's radios to be protected. So I changed the product. It's gone through multiple iterations, probably about 5 now, little improvements and tweaks in how it's in the materials used and how it's actually put together. So I've been slowly improving it, and that's why the metal keyring is on there now, because I wanted to be stronger. And there's still room for improvement. I would like to potentially replace that little tiny keyring with something that does connect and disconnect quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to find it's got to be strong, and that's the problem. It's hard to find something that connects and disconnects easily and quickly, but is also not the weak link in the chain. So
right.
Still looking.
Cool.
It'll hopefully improve again someday. And
just a quick hint for you, say FT3 users out there. There's a lanyard hole or a hole here on the battery. That's not the one you want to put it on. That's the one that I had it on, and James was quick enough and kind enough to correct me. There's another little lanyard thing right here. Let me see if I could go to camera 3 and right in here. And that goes on, and you could just barely get this whole thing on and through that loop, get it looped back through by using that. The first time I did it, I actually uncoupled this thing, took the little ring off, and did it. But I guess I don't need to do that. So, and you don't. And now, do you have to hold this? Do you have to hold this against the radio or anything to make it work?
Yes.
Or
you don't have to, but you'll get better performance if, and I'll demonstrate it here, if as the zip Tenna opens up, right, you want your hand over it so that the wire is between your hand and the radio, and that will help keep the wire in position so that it's coupling properly to the radio.
Okay.
And as the FD3DR that you had there, it's easiest to take the battery off first and then try to loop it through that little lanyard hole.
Yes. Yeah. But once it's on there, man, it feels nice and tight. So that's a big plus. And that's actually going to make me feel a lot more secure about taking that thing out and keeping it on my belt and not having it fall off, especially on the bike.
Yeah, and I've had suggestions that some people have suggested, well, why don't you have it with a ratcheting mechanism inside, right? So you could stop at each band.
Mm-hmm.
And I did look into that. That was actually an early idea. And I thought maybe that's what I wanted to do. But after doing some drop tests, I realized that the retraction is actually what's helping save your radio, because it's slowing the descent of the radio. Instead of falling with a quick stop at the end,
Mm-hmm.
as the lanyard takes up the slack, instead of that, it's falling slower.
Okay.
So that was a big factor. The other factor was looking into those ratcheting mechanisms. They're all plastic. It's like these little plastic pieces, and they just won't last. I just don't trust that they would last, and then you just have this dead product in your hands. So I want the product to last for people, because you're going to use it over and over and over again, and I don't want it to be crap. So
There you go. Yeah, no, I do like the fact that if it does fall out of your hand for whatever reason, it's probably, well, it's heavy enough. The radio's heavy enough that it's gonna basically.
It is going
there.
to descend.
Yeah.
If you drop it from mouth height and it's clipped to your belt, it is going to fall down past your knee, but it's not going to hit the ground.
Okay.
And it'll slow down.
Yeah.
There are, this is.
I mean, this
not,
thing is pretty. This is a pretty tight or a pretty strong deal.
Yeah. So I chose to have it made with a little bit stronger tension on there than your normal, like, keychain, retractable keychain. So this is a little more tension than normal, a little bit thicker wire than many of the ones you might see out there that are sold as for keychains. So I had it beefed up a little bit in my design.
Very, very cool. Very cool.
Oh, and the other reason why I didn't do the ratcheting was, and I found this out with other counterpoises,
Mm-hmm.
like the Tiger Tail. If anyone's used a Tiger Tail, you'll notice the wire just droops like all over the place and flops around. That's affecting your performance. So that's why I didn't want the ratcheting, because if it ratcheted, so I'll just simulate it ratcheting. If you stop it, then as you move around, the wire is not going to remain straight. So by keeping the tension on the wire, you're maintaining the counterpoise in a relatively perfect vertical position to maximize its performance.
Very, very cool. A couple of quick questions that we had. Let's see. Jonathan Anderson, any ideas for wheelchair users? Now, I don't know if that's for Soda Poda, or more along the lines of the zip Tenna?
So if it's about the zip Tenna, some thoughts that just come to mind off the top of my head would be it needs to be clipped lower down. So if there's some attachment point that you can access on the chair that allows you to clip the carabiner lower down, that thereby when you raise it up, it extends it further. That's what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to achieve that full extension, so the carabiner would need to be located lower.
And there's nothing that says you can't take a larger carabiner or a piece of rope or something, tie it off somewhere else, and then click that thing on there when you're ready to operate, right?
Yeah, experiment with it, mess with it. This is ham radio. We're tinkerers, so the sky's the limit. Do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
Add anything to it. Modify it if you like. I mean, it's only $20, right?
That's it.
And speaking of the carabiner, this is kind of a fun fact. I think I informed Josh of this. The carabiner, I chose this carabiner because of Josh, K6UDA. He likes to have a beer on his show every night, right?
Yes.
So I put a bottle opening carabiner on here, kind of inspired by his indulging in a brewski every now and then.
Nice. Well, and that would really help when you're at the top of a mountain and you want to have that beer.
It's the only antenna that can open your beer for you.
There you go. The only antenna on the market you can open your beer with.
And it's the only bottle opener that can save your radio.
And that too. So it's double duty.
Yes.
Double duty. Okay. Let's see. As long as I got you on here, let's see if there's any questions. Oh, you know what? Freebander is asking, when will you come out with a high-powered version? I don't know of what.
He might be thinking of the Slink Tenna, possibly.
Okay.
The Zip Tenna is really just, for handhelds.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
You can't go very high power with handhelds anyways.
Well, you could do 8 watts with a Baofeng.
Yeah. 8 watts.
Yeah.
And you get too much higher with handhelds, too much power out with handhelds with the antenna right by your face. You start melting some sensitive areas on your eyeballs.
Yeah, that's.
But anyways, the Slink Tenna, I have considered a higher power option.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one guy in a garage, so I'm already swamped with orders, and that's maybe in the works someday. There is a guy that makes a slinky antenna on eBay. It's not a Slink Tenna, so it's like single band, and you got to deal with trying to stretch out and retract the coils to tune it. But make your own. It's so easy, to just take some wire, take some big slinkies, and make your own high power slinky antenna. It is something I have thought about. Mm-hmm. So maybe someday.
Nice. Very, very cool. God, what was I just gonna say? Let's see. Understand. Freebander says he understands. Thank you. And let's see. From Wolf Run. Welcome to the Twin Falls neighborhood. Thank you. That is WF7RUM. Guys, I'm also right now monitoring YouTubers on Wires X and FCS 003 Room 48 if you want to say hi there. You know what, James? I think it's time to... we got 66 thumbs up, 81 people in the house. I think we need 20-something more thumbs up. And then here's an interesting little trivia question we'll do. And the first right answer will win this. And I'll send that out to the to the winner. The rock band Rush. They had many albums. They had lots and lots of songs, just multitudes of music came out of these guys. But they had one song that they had on a live album, on one live album, and it never appeared on a studio album. What is that song? That one song from Rush that was on a live album but never on a studio album. We'll just play. You know what? We got 7 minutes to the top of the hour here, and I think we'll kind of cut it off. But anybody else have any ham related questions that they want to ask either me or James, and then we'll kind of wrap this thing up. And again, man, I want to thank these guys from all these different agencies that sent me some patches. Thank you guys. They're all going up on the wall there. Very cool. Let's see. K6UDA Budget Ham Radio says Closer to the Heart. No, that was on a studio album, not just a live album. BMX or Dono 1 says 2112. No. Closer to the Heart was on I think the Rush, the untitled Rush album. Paul Emons says Rush sucks. You definitely are not a music fan because Rush was a musician's band.
So Bob, I shouldn't answer, right? I'm exempt from. I shouldn't be trying to win this, right?
You know what? If nobody else gets it and you think you know the answer, you can. You could definitely. Here's a good. Here's a good guess, but it's not right. La Villa La Strangiato from Freebander. Good try. Not there. Let's see. Daniel L. James, he says, I think I saw a 10-meter radio on your eBay Etsy store. Are you manufacturing those?
That is just a little side project that I do for fun on a rare occasion. It's a old 1969, I believe, handheld CB radio, single channel, and I modify them to be on the 10-meter band, and then I sell them for fun, or keep them. It depends on how much I like them. But it's funny you bring that up. I was considering pulling that off of my Etsy page because I was thinking about just keeping it for myself because the one that's on there is so weird looking. It looks like it's from some like 1950s old space TV show. It's a really weird shaped CB radio. And I've got it modified for I think it's 29 megahertz, which is the I don't know if it's official or unofficial AM calling frequency for 10 meters.
Wow.
I don't make them very often though. They're hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm lucky if they're even functional. So I got to like repair the radio first and then I have to convert it over. So that's a rarity. I don't know if I'll even ever do it again. There's one left. One guy bought the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's not a regular product.
Okay. Not a regular product.
No.
All right. Let's see. A couple more guesses here. Chris C says he's too young for Rush. W4ORH Ron says Shot in the Dark. I don't even think that's a Rush song. Howard Buck, Today's Tom Sawyer. Nope, that's wrong. Not Fade Away from Chris Townsend. Nope. Different Strings. Very good guess, Chris, but not right. Think of the trees. There's a hint. Think of the trees, and it may lead you to the answer.
I'm surprised no one's looked it up online yet.
You would think so. This was one of the only, I heard this originally on a radio station years ago, and it was like the only Rush question that I never could answer. But when I learned the answer, I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me. That's right." And it's such a great little song, or an intro, I would say. But it is a song. Let's see. Aaron Webb, Don't Love Me. Different Strings, no, but that's a good Garden Road. I don't know Garden Road. Subdivisions is not right. Losing It. Permanent Waves, no. Hand Over Fist. A lot of Rush fans here. A lot of people, I think, are looking it up on the internet. Permanent Waves is not it. Permanent Waves was actually the title track of the album Permanent Waves. Cut to the Chase, nope. Limelight, nope. We are at the very top of the hour, or the bottom of the hour now. The Trees, almost. Let's see. That's the closest we've gotten. It was The Trees, but The Trees were on a studio album. James, you care to take a shot in the dark here?
I don't know. I was just kidding before.
Okay.
And I haven't looked it up.
All right.
Maybe
all right, guys.
Your question.
Oh, we got it. We have an answer. My brother, Andy Crowley, has come up with the correct answer. It's Brunsbane, not Broombane. Brunsbane was the guitar introduction, acoustic 12-string guitar by Alex Lifeson. That was the prelude to The Trees on Exit Stage Left, the album Exit Stage Left. Anyway,
cool.
Man, guys, we have been on for an hour. James, I want to thank you so much for joining me here and for
no problem.
For doing this. Andy Crowley, go ahead, send me an email with your address. I will get the zip Tenna off to you in the mail. And let's see. I'm going to cut back over to camera number 1. And very, very cool. Guys, you know what? Let me bring camera 1 over here. You know what? Look at that. I did it. Except now you got this stupid little light here. Anyway, guys, let me start by saying thank you very much for joining me back for the first live stream of 2021. And I guess we're still in the COVID thing. But anyway, again, thanks for joining me. And if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. Like the video. 71 likes, 2 thumbs down. I guess they're not Rush fans. Let me take those off so I'm not glaring into my lights here and glaring back into the camera. I got nothing else. Guys, thank you so much. We'll do it again. I don't know if we'll do it again next week. I got lots of projects around the house that I'm still doing. But anyway, once or twice, or once a week, maybe once every other week for right now until we get going. And new day, because on Thursdays now at about this time, I'm going to lunch with the Magic Valley ARC group here in Twin Falls, Idaho. And if you're in the Magic Valley or you're in Twin Falls, please invite yourself to the airport. We have lunch every Thursday. I had a few other things. Oh, Superfest in Peoria, Illinois. I'll make another announcement about that. But new indoor facility. I guess this is going to be huge. So if you're out there in the Illinois area, Midwest, don't miss that one. That was a good show back when I went. And it's going to be an insane show this year. So don't forget that one. I can't think of anything else right now. I'm Bob, K6UDA, and I'm out of here. 7-3, guys.